Well, I'm sure some people would like to know what it's like working with me. So in today's video, I'm going to be interviewing a client who has become a friend and her experience and why she chose to buy a home in the Verde Valley / Sedona. All right, so today I am with my friend Cheryl, and I thank you in advance for being willing to do a little interview with me on my YouTube channel. The reason that I am having Cheryl chat with us today is because she started out as a client of mine 3 years ago. She and I met in January of 2023, right after the first of the year.
No, on the first.
Oh, I'm sorry, on the first. I stand corrected, or sit. And I am going to let her kind of talk about how that all went initially, because the weather was not fun. It was cold and snowy.
Yeah, actually we met on the second. I didn't mean to, I incorrectly corrected you.
It's okay.
Because I flew down on January 1st of 23 to look at houses, but there was a blizzard in Utah and I was leaving from Utah, so it took me, I was supposed to get here at 1 in the afternoon. I got here, and my flight I think left like 6 a.m. there, and I ended up getting here, my flight got in at like 10:30 because of the snow delay.
PM.
Yes, PM, and then I rented a car and drove up that night, and I got here late. My bags weren't here and all that mess. So I met you the next morning on the second.
Yes. So I came over and picked you up, and Cheryl and I had been talking on the phone and via email and things, so we had some homes that you'd already picked out.
Yeah, I did a lot of internet shopping for houses and property, and to see, what I might like, what the prices were. And so we had narrowed that down to the things I wanted to look at. And of course the prices weren't what I wanted to pay. They were significantly higher. Anything I wanted anything that was in my price range was, something that was small and in like more of an apartment, or no covered parking, no garage parking. And so I ended up buying a house. So, but it all worked out really, really well. But it didn't. My expectations, even doing all that online shopping and then looking in reality, but it was a lot of fun. So Judy's a lot of fun, and we went through my list first, and then she'd call and get things organized and do it efficiently, so we could go around, not going back and forth and just kind of go in a loop. And we'd do drive-bys, and I was like, nope, this is not where I want to be, so let's not even make an appointment. And that was really helpful. I never considered just doing those drive-bys.
Oh yeah,
and
the
not
neighborhoods,
bothering people. Yeah, because it really kind of get you. Yeah.
And tell them where you were looking and what price range you were looking at, because you're saying that you're having a hard time finding something that would be what you'd even be willing to even consider. So tell them where you were looking and the price range you were looking at.
Well, I was looking Sedona and Oak Creek because I wanted to be in the Red Rocks. I needed something different. I was getting tired of long winters in northern Nevada, and I wanted to hike more all winter and not just snowshoe. And I love Red Rock country, and I ruled out anything by Zion because it's too isolated and national park, tourist stuff. And then I also ruled out St. George because it's just a sprawling city, and it's still you're driving everywhere. And so I chose Sedona and Oak Creek because just the Red Rock, and there's trails everywhere. I mean,
right out your door, front and back.
After this will be my 4th winter, I still have not hit every trail, and that was my goal, and that's why I chose this area, just so that I would have access to trails within minutes and not hours.
Right.
Yeah,
or even a half an hour drive every time you wanted to go on
there
the
and
trail.
back.
It's like, okay,
yeah. And that's, if there's 100 of them within a half hour, that's one thing. But generally, when you're doing that kind of distance, it's not. So that's why I chose these two to look at. And my number one requirement was indoor-outdoor living. I need a view. I have to feel like I don't want to be in a box with looking at other people's stuff, even if it's gorgeous. I just,
do you have a view here?
I have an amazing view, and I was hoping for 500 or 600, and it just wasn't available in Sedona or Oak Creek. It was just so. I knew my upper limit was 1, and I came in just under that.
1 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I came in just under that, which was, that was my upper limit. I didn't want to do it. I gulped, but it was supposed to just be, a part-time, get away from the winter and just hike all year. And it's kind of reversed. Now I'm selling the big, like farm property in northern Nevada, and I'll find something small there for just the summer months because it's just so nice down here and the weather. I don't want to be here in the summer, so I'd rather be up north in the summer. And my first plan was I bought a trail map, and I just wanted to figure out the lay of the land, right? So just to hike everything I could and figure out what was where. And so I just started highlighting. If I did a trail, I'd highlight it. So that was my goal the first winter. And that was fun. And then Judy said she wanted to hike. So we started hiking together, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then last year we hiked a lot, and we started going to the gym and swimming. And this year we're, weekly hiking. And boy, it's so fun. You're so close to Flagstaff and the Mogollon Rim up there. There's a bunch of stuff once you get up in the pines. They're just amazing.
Exactly. I mean, there's really almost limitless.
It is.
Hiking. I mean,
and it's backcountry too. Like trails and.
We like to go early in the morning because we like to get out there in front of all the tourists and all of the other people.
And the heat.
And the heat, definitely.
Yeah.
And the summer hiking is tough because you have to get up really, really early to beat the heat. And I understand why you want to go back to Nevada and be in the mountains over there where it's a lot cooler, because this last summer was so hot.
Oh, it's green and you're hiking. It gets cooler as you hike, and it's, the water, and you could swim or, play in the water. Here it's hotter and drier as you...
Right, as the season goes on.
And as you climb, there's no water up. So it's a reverse. But I definitely am spending a lot more time down here than my initial intent. I've kind of flipped my season location just because it's so nice. Everybody has a good time here. Like, if you're on the trails, the people that are on the trails, everybody's in a good mood. Whether you're a tourist or you're local, you're just happy to be here.
Exactly.
And
it's nice to be out on the trails and in nature. And I like hiking over in Sedona because it's more challenging, but also the trails have more coverage. You're not just walking on an open trail with the sun beating down on you. You get to have more of that in the woods feel, and then climbing over rocks. There's a lot of rock climbing.
Crossing water. And
But
the only time that I don't go to the Instagram places, the people where all the people are crowding at. So you do that because you do it, or you take people there who want to go there. But for the rest of the time, you can just get out and, really be by yourself. And it's not like cattle trails where you're just following herds of people, which was going to be a problem in, southern Utah in certain places. But I like this because it's a small community still. It's got that, the upscale shopping, the upscale dining. It's attractive. The neighborhoods are all pretty. The environment is just gorgeous, and everybody's in a good mood. It's in here or Oak Creek.
Here.
I go over to Oak Creek and hike, and have a horse I keep over there for the winter, and it's fun to ride, and I have a mountain bike, and so you can hike and mountain bike and horseback ride or side by side or whatever you want to do to have as much adventure. I'm hoping we get snow this year so I can go up the rim and do a lot of snowshoeing, but last year there was no snow up there.
No, there was no snow. I mean, they got like 13 inches, which was crazy.
Yeah,
that
ridiculous.
was crazy. So I have a feeling with the weather, when we are recording this, it's a wet, rainy, cloudy week. It's been like that all week, and we desperately need the water here in Arizona.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We always, are thankful when we do see clouds and see rain, even though, it's, not our norm here. And I'm hoping that with some of this, that we will get some more snow, at least up in Flag and in the higher elevations for this winter, because we need the water. And that's part of the fun thing is, if you are a skier, you like to snowshoe, but they have the ski resorts up in Flag, which is 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
So you can ski if you want to ski.
Yeah, I've been skiing since I was 6, but I haven't skied in the last few years, but thinking maybe if they get snow this year, head back up there.
There you go. I'm terrified I'll break something. I did do cross-country skiing earlier in my life. I actually really enjoyed that. It was really, really fun.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that in a really long time because just no snow here.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you can find it if you need it, but if not, Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty
But
fun.
I love that you said there's hiking, there's mountain biking, there's side by side, there's actually water. There's people. I was talking with another friend of mine, and she's like, "Oh, we need to go kayaking." I'm like,
We
"Where?"
did this summer.
She's
We
like,
did.
"What?"
I came down to visit even this summer, and we inner tubed the
Oh,
Verde.
you did. How
and
was that?
It was fun, and actually I have some kayaks, so we just didn't get them out because I didn't have the truck with me. But we were going to go back up, and this next summer we're going to figure out where we can put in and take out, and just there's that water, and then up over Stoneman Lake, or if there's water in those, we're going to do more of that. And then we went up to Lake Powell, and we kayaked from below the dam to Lee's Ferry this summer, and we went and played at Lake Powell and the jet skis, and that was in July, and it's 3.5 hours away. Lake Powell, 4 hours up to
close.
Page.
I mean, that's the other thing about living here is that it's so close to so many things that you literally can go there for the day and maybe stay overnight because you want to play.
Yeah, we did. We
and
spent the
then
weekend and had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Or you could camp.
Yeah, camping. I'm all about the camping.
There's a bunch of lakes down like Saguaro Lake and down that around Phoenix that there's still some really rugged, rough areas, and the wilderness around here, I can't remember the name of the canyon, but there's some really pretty wilderness rivers and just, really rural, not rural, but, in the middle of remote water that, you just have to go and find. And so I haven't explored everything yet because this is only my 4th winter.
Right.
Or 4th season for me.
You've kind of avoided the summers a little bit and the hot areas, so you
but
don't
it's
want
still
to be in the
plenty.
water now.
No, but it was warm. Like up until this rain happened, it was 70s and 50s. So still camping and backpacking, and then in the winter, the first winter I was here, we backpacked in March, April, May, and then
and when you say backpack, what does that mean for those of us that are not backpackers?
Oh, yeah, you put all your stuff in a backpack and you go walk into the wilderness and spend a few days and then walk out. You have your water filter and all that kind of stuff.
And you're camping like in a
Wherever.
little tent and sleeping on the ground, so to speak. Okay, she's
there's
far more adventurous
that.
than I am.
Yeah, but there's plenty of that. Or you can car camp. We did that last weekend. We took the dogs up above Schnebley Hill and found a little spot and watched the sun go down, and then just took the truck and went boonie stomping around in the trees and trying out different roads. And so, clearly I like to be outside and adventure, but that's why I bought the house here. And because I didn't want to live remote anymore, because I'd been kind of living in a small town. I want to be able to walk here, so I can walk to yoga, I can mountain bike to the grocery store, I can walk to the grocery store, I can walk to Uptown, I can walk to Tlaquepaque. I wanted that central where I could just keep moving as I age. I don't want to, be sedentary. And so if you have to drive everywhere, then you have less opportunities built into your day to continue to be active.
True. And you are how old?
I'm 59 right now.
She's 59. She's going to be 60. And I have to say this about Cheryl. She, as you hear, she's very adventurous. She likes to be active. She likes to be doing things. And she's a great motivation and inspiration to me. And she and I were doing the wave, what the heck is that?
The lazy river.
The lazy river, thank you, at the community center because she had a screwed up knee and I had a pinched nerve in my back, so neither one of us were hiking or moving very well.
Yeah, I just had my knee replaced in May, and it fell apart just before. That's why we were at the pool and not hiking. But it was good fighting the lazy river, going the opposite direction,
but
and
the cool part
doing the
is,
gym.
You had your knee surgery
in May,
and 2 months later, she was hiking the mountains of Nepal. So this is a person who's very committed.
You're generous. 4 months later.
4 months later. Okay. 4 months later. That, it just tells you that if you are a person who's interested in adventure and interested in being outside, no matter your age, and as we age, as you were just saying, we need to stay active. My chiropractor says motion is lotion. So keep moving. And to have that walkability here in Sedona, just even in the community, not even going out on the hiking trails, but then adding the hiking, adding the
only problem that really that Sedona doesn't have figured out, and it should, as far as that sort of stuff, is the biking is terrible here. That you're
Like
on the
on the
side of the
streets
highway.
biking? I know.
There's no good biking trails. I mean, they're mountain biking crazy. They're all good, but it's, if you want to bike over to Oak Creek, you're kind of risking life and limb, and even down 89A, 179, it's not great. But
I agree.
You do what you can, but it's.
I won't ride a bike. I would love to bike. I would love to. However, I can't do mountain biking. My shoulders can't take it. But I used to street bike all the time where I came from, and I've known people who've been hit by cars because people don't stay in their lane. They go in the bike lane. They hit people.
You're hard to see.
I know somebody who's been killed.
Oh my!
And I'm like, much as I like to bike, I just don't want to put my life and limb at risk. And I know there's a lot of people that bike, and God bless you for doing that, but it just terrifies me here. I was following somebody home from church the other day, I think it was, and the person in front of me literally was driving in the bike lane.
I've seen that,
and I get
multiple
the frick
times.
out of the bike lane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's scary, but that's kind of the downside of living here is that biking.
It's so pretty that, people are just agog, they're looking around them, and, you kind of know where your bumpers are, or your, what do you call them when you're bowling, your bumper guards, your gutters are.
Stay between here.
That's it. And then that bike lane gives them a little bit more, but
Yeah.
they're wandering on the road because they're looking around. So you have to be really careful that way.
Yeah.
But for mountain biking, the trails are great.
Oh,
and
massive.
there's really challenging stuff. And the really cool thing is they have them, not all of them, but they're graded like ski run. Green,
yes,
blue, black. So you kind of know where you shouldn't be. I learned that one the hard way. I didn't realize they were graded until I blew a couple tires. Then I was like, I don't belong here. I need to go to the baby green runs out here for mountain biking. I can't mountain bike the way I did in my 20s and 30s.
It's a little hard on the body.
Once you learn,
but it is awesome.
Yeah,
it is.
That's one thing that I didn't know about here that I really appreciate, that I see, that those are graded like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And actually, the trails for a lot of the hiking are also graded. So you can see how challenging they're going to be. And there's apps like you have. What's the one we just put on?
I have a few, but Strava's something a lot of outdoor or, runner, hiker, biker type people do. It's a way to communicate with your friends, but I use it for, logging my trails. I don't go public on that, or just to keep in touch with what other people are doing. Yeah.
I know on all trails they do grade them, like kind of easy.
Yeah,
hard,
but that's subjective.
That kind of thing. Well,
too.
Yeah, it can be very subjective.
Yeah,
but it gives you a guideline.
It does. It's nice to have that. So.
Yeah, I like that. And then tell me a little bit about what it was like working with me as your realtor. What was that like?
So obviously,
we know we like each other now, but what was it like before you really knew me?
You could tell that Judy's really shy, so it took a little bit of coaxing to get her to open up. It was fun because I did the internet shopping first, and then I believe I just clicked the link. I don't know how I found you.
You were on Redfin. That's how you came to me, was through Redfin. We're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that's what. There were a few houses I definitely wanted to look at, and I clicked one of those, for more information.
Right.
And then that's how. And then we lined it up. I went to Utah for a show New Year's Eve by myself because I wasn't dating anybody and I was divorced, and so I was like, well, I'm already going to be near an airport, so I might as well fly down on the 1st. And so Judy lined up a bunch of houses, and we went through, and it's like your eyes are bigger than your belly, when you're, if you're filling your plate. It was kind of like, let's look at all of these houses. And she's like, well, let's just narrow this down and see what this is, because this is a lot of stuff on the list. But, there was some priorities that I had said, I had to have the indoor-outdoor living, had to have a view if I didn't have it. So we went back and we looked at one house, I think 4 times.
The one in the village of Oak Creek.
In Oak Creek.
We did.
You walked in the front door and it was like, you could just look out. The whole back wall of the house was windows, and it was this phenomenal view. And
The house was nice?
The house was nice, but it needed, it was still builder grade stuff, and it just needed, and I kept being like, well, this will work. This is fine. I can fix this. Because I've been renovating for, 25 years. And so it's like you just start seeing potential. Mm-hmm. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't want to spend all my time in construction again. And then the house I did buy, we almost didn't see because there was a time schedule and I was exhausted at that point. I was like, you're right. Oh my gosh, this is so much work. And we went to lunch and we had fun. And so she showed me some of the really cool restaurants around and we just chatted and, so like now it's just easy to communicate and a lot of fun. So we went and had lunch and then saw this house. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh my God, this is it, So then your stomach goes in your throat because you're like, oh, I think I found it, And the more you walked through, and I was like, this is the one I loved online, love. I wasn't thrilled with the location because it's one street away from 89A. Mm-hmm.
But in the house here, you can't hear
No, you can't hear it. But I didn't know I didn't want that, at all. And so I almost didn't look at it for that reason, mm-hmm. but it was checking every box. There was a lot of things that were on my list. The view was number one. The price was too high, but I worked out a deal with the seller, and it didn't. Yeah, I bought it turnkey, which was part of the deal. Mm-hmm. It's a HOA. There's no yard. So I had issues with. I needed a yard and fence for dogs. Can't put in a fence, but my dogs are old. And so, there's a time limit on that part. But I love my neighborhood. My neighbors are really good. I love the dark sky community because I love to sleep outside and look at the stars. So, I've done some work to the house to make it mine inside. Slowly got mostly rotated the furniture out to, my kids got a lot and I kept some of the basics, and
added your own decor.
Well, yeah, you have to do that, but I put in a patio and a little water feature, and the HOA was.
Have it on the slideshow because it's so beautiful.
We'll see.
But
yeah,
Cheryl's
not today.
very
it's
private,
raining.
hence we're doing an audio interview. And you're not getting all the information. She's very private, but I appreciate, again, that you're willing to at least do the interview.
No, I'm happy to help out. I wouldn't do it if I was like, I have nothing nice to say about you, so I can't say anything at all.
Yeah, she just suffers through those hiking trips with me. She's so patient, I have to say, because Cheryl is a retired search and rescue person. And so she knows all kinds of things about outdoor hiking and safety and trail reading and just things that I'm totally clueless on. And so she's been really gracious in tolerating my ineptness and my beginnerness and teaching me how to read the trail maps.
Oh, but that's fun. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
And when we did the last hike, what happened on my last fall? She called it a 4-point.
A 4-point turn.
I was like, oh shit.
Well, first she landed, then she hit her side, then she rolled on her back, and then she kind of ended up on her belly. I was like, a nice 4-point turn.
I was like, what the hell? It was at the end of a very long hike.
It was a good one.
Yeah. It was a great hike. Yeah. I loved every minute of it, but for whatever reason, my whole body just said,
I was like, all right, we're going to use my hiking sticks, and you're going to have some electrolytes and some fuel, because I think you're getting
I have bruises
tired.
On my knees from that. It's like, but she's a good sport about it, and every time we've hiked, I've gotten a little better.
Yeah, 100% better over the 3 years, and not you weren't terrible or anything, but it's just like you're going faster, you're going longer, you're talking more, during not sucking wind.
So she was talking because I was sucking wind when I did the 4-point
I got to
fall.
turn. Got to get her tired so I can talk. Otherwise, she's
we kind
dominates the conversation.
Oh, really? I don't think so. I think we're pretty good at both having our turns, for sure.
Clearly, I'm joking.
But yeah, and it's fun. We do go out and have bites to eat now and then and things, and it's not just about the hiking. Like I said, we do the community center and did the pool, which was really good, and it got me back into the community center.
I didn't even know that was there. So, there's other things in the neighborhood that, or, when I say neighborhood, the Verde Valley is the neighborhood,
the Verde
right?
Valley
so
is our neighborhood.
Yeah, there's,
absolutely.
I didn't even know that that rec center was there in Cottonwood. Now it's a great deal. Like, it's got the gym and all sorts of stuff. So, I was like, so just also not just the selling of the houses, but, here's what the community offers, and, here's how to get involved if you're wanting to, do other things. So the local knowledge is really important. It's not like, I'm done selling you the house, leave me alone, and the title company recommendations on that, and the inspector, the whole,
inspector,
knowing, having those, the links, the relationships with the ones who are going to do a good job for you. And even the home inspector was like, hey, anytime, I know we're done, but he's like, anytime you have questions about that house, let me know. Cause he'd been in the walls and the ceilings and and so I'm not going to do that unless I have to. And if I have to, I'm going to be like, what, So,
help me.
What am I looking for in here? Why am I, but I haven't had to, because the house is in great shape. I mean, it's really well maintained, and the bones are great, and the insides are really nice, just doing a couple things on my own. But
I know you don't love this floor. I'm sorry. I'm looking at her floor, and it's got ridges.
It's like that wavy mahogany
wavy,
or something.
But it looks so gorgeous.
It's pretty, but
hard to clean, I'm sure.
It's
in the ridges.
Yeah, you can't just like Swiffer it, but it's the wood is. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's holding. It's gonna hold up. It's a great floor, and so if I want to do anything, I can just have it drum sanded down to get rid of the ridges, and then do whatever kind of varnish or stain I want. It's hardwood.
No, I was going to say, it's not all super rigid, and it's not that. You could definitely sand that down.
It's hardwood, so it's gonna last forever, and it's nice. It's throughout the house except for the living in the bathroom. There's some carpet in the living room, but the paint was fine when I moved in for the most part. There were some dings and holes in the wall, and so I had that all done. But every year, just a little bit something different, So
making it more yours.
Just settling in, moving stuff down from Nevada that I will need here or I won't need there as I scale down there. So
because you're selling your house in Nevada.
It's under contract, but so I'm going to find something small or build something small. I really don't want to build, but I will find something small that will suit me, that's just easy to come and go from for the summer season but I won't do anything unless the right house falls in my lap or becomes available there. I'm not going to do anything for a year. I'm going to wait and kind of see how life changes again, and a whole new chapter. Cheryl version 59.8. It's November.
Exactly.
It was May.
Yes.
Yeah, for 59.6, 6 months in. But yeah, so you never know.
Okay. Yeah, you never know. And anything else? I mean, it's been great. Working with you. You were easy to work with as a client. You were super easy. Actually, you were very good about being concise about what you wanted. So it helped me to really direct you onto where to look and what to look. And we were definitely just in Sedona and the Village of Oak Creek. We weren't looking at any other parts of the Verde Valley, which helps because when people are really more clear about where they want to be.
Right.
And some of the things that you mentioned about outdoor activities and things like that, and just what's in the community, and knowing that is going to help people know where they want to look.
There's like game clubs and, things that you can do, other ways to keep your mind busy. I haven't done any art classes, but I really would like to start doing some painting or something. My neighbors do pottery, and there's,
I was just going to say pottery.
Yeah.
I went to the pottery festival last weekend. And found out, which was awesome, that they have pottery classes at the Yavapai Community College right up behind me in, I guess it's Clarkdale where their address is.
Yeah. So there's plenty of things to do, for all sorts of things. There's volunteer opportunities everywhere, and then, creative pursuits and
if you're bored, it's because you're not trying to find anything to do.
You got to grow where you're planted. But, I looked at the reason I knew what I wanted was because this wasn't a rash decision. I'd been thinking for about 5 years, where did I want to go and what kind of lifestyle did I want? I knew I wanted activity. I thought about Maine. I went and looked at houses there. That was too much winter. I thought about the Pacific Northwest, but that's too dreary for me. Even getting closer to the dry side in Washington versus the wet side, I need sunshine. Sunshine's my battery. So further south in Arizona is a little scrappier desert. I like the green here, so it's green all year long. you know, you have some deciduous trees which make fall and spring
Pretty.
nice with the flowering trees, but you know, the green all year long is really nice, and the red, and you know, then you get some snow, and so I knew what I was looking for because I thought about it for a long time.
Okay.
So
See, that's important.
it was easy.
To
Plus,
think about it.
Yeah.
If you have the time, think about your lifestyle, not just the house. And I think that some people forget about the lifestyle part, and it's like they're just thinking, I need a house that's this many square feet, this many bedrooms, and for this much. And it's like, you have to look at where you're going to be living, because the neighborhood, the community itself outside of that are the things that you use every day, the shopping, the groceries, the restaurants, the entertainment, the medical, all
parking,
of that.
You know, on-street parking. Is your neighborhood going to be...
Right. Do you need a garage, or is a carport sufficient? And I think that those are things that I try to help people evaluate if they haven't already.
Right.
And for you, obviously you put a lot of time and energy into thinking about and evaluating and trying different places before you committed to Sedona. She was very committed. Like we looked and we knocked this out in what, a week?
No, two days.
Did you come back? Yeah, it was like
we started
she came and
on
we
the
looked.
2nd. We looked on the 2nd. We looked on the 3rd. I signed the contract on the 4th.
Okay, because we were like, she's like, I have this much time, I'm going to do this. Now the funny thing is, I had just got over COVID when you came. My second round with me and COVID.
Right.
Anyway, so I was like, oh dear Lord, please let me be healthy, because I can't give her what I have. And so I was very glad that you were like very concise. We're going to do this. We looked at a lot of houses.
I know what I don't like.
We didn't just look at one or two.
No.
We looked at a lot of houses.
And but the view, I mean, that really reduced everything to have that. I need indoor outdoor living, period. You know, so if there's beautiful homes, but you know, if they just don't have the view or the indoor outdoor living, part of being a grown up is, you know, you're gonna have to wait sometimes. And fortunately I didn't have to. But the one in Oak Creek I almost did that, and then we walked in here, and then we went back the next morning to both of them, that one and this one. So it wasn't about Sedona over Oak Creek, it was that house and this house.
Right.
Where, you know, both communities offered everything I wanted.
They did. They were great, both great communities.
But I just didn't want to put a lot of work into that house, and this one was finished, and I was able to get it turnkey. So
right. Well, the price point was very comparable as well.
He wanted
for
more.
What they for what you were going to have to do to that house to make it work for you, and you know, the yard.
That one had a fence.
Point.
It had the yard. Had the hot tub. I think it had
had
a water feature. It had the
too,
water, but it had a fence.
Whatever.
It had a yard that would have been better for the dogs. Where this one I'm walking them. But it, you know, it was work. You know, it wasn't a flash in the pan. It was still a panic attack, you know, and you spend that kind of money and you're like, I had a little mini panic attack that afternoon. I'm like, I gotta go be by myself for a while.
Like
I took a quick hike. And then so it was funny because you mentioned the snow. We closed early and it
I forgot
snowed.
about the blizzard.
You know, the blizzard that got me here, and then the day I came and took possession of the house and finished closing, that had snowed that morning, and the previous owner, their tire tracks were going down the driveway and their footprints were going down the driveway in the snow. So when I got here, those tire tracks going down and the footprints going down, and I parked in the road and my footprints were walking up in the snow. It was really just kind of poignant, you know, the end of that era and the start of this, just that minor overlapping, and then the snow melted and the house was mine. You know, it was really kind of cool.
What a nice visual.
It was really nice.
Did you take a picture by chance?
I don't believe I did.
I know, but in your mind you have it. So
I
that's
do.
cool.
It's in my mind. Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
So it was really, it was.
It was very
really nice.
Snowy, challenging. The weather that day that you closed was not good. It was the most snow that we've had in Sedona. We have not had that much snow since then.
In that January.
And it was wet and heavy, and
the highway was closed. I had to go through Prescott and drive down that crazy.
Jerome?
road from Prescott through Jerome to get here because 17 was closed because of a tractor semi thing.
Yeah.
And
I had to do the same, and I was like, oh my
and
God.
that road was covered in snow, and there was all these little cars, people who don't know how to drive in snow, like squirrely on that little 2-lane mountain road. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it does get some snow here.
Yes, it does. And there were a lot of people in the ditch that day, but we made it. You
Yeah,
made it all the way
worked out
here.
pretty
You
good.
got your house, you got your keys.
I did.
It was awesome.
Did the clothes, and
It was awesome.
Yeah. So it was a really good experience overall. I wouldn't have done it if I ran into obstacles that were, sometimes you don't want to climb a wall because it's there for a reason. But this was like all systems go. Everything worked out. I found what I wanted. That first visit,
the seller
was
very
easy.
cooperative, took care of everything that needed to be taken care of,
which was almost nothing.
Yeah, exactly. He was awesome, and his agent was great to work with. I've worked with him several times.
It was all very smooth. And actually, the seller left me flowers, and Judy brought me flowers. So I walked into fresh. Yeah, I don't remember that. It must not have lasted very long. Flowers lasted longer.
Close to Valentine's Day by the time we got it all done.
I remember that.
So I was like, I'm going to bring you some chocolates and flowers.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty fun. But yeah, so it all was that he left me a nice letter, about their time here in Sedona, and it was funny. He's like, okay, and now the neighbors. Here's the dirt on the neighbors. There is no dirt. They're good people, So that was nice too. I was like, oh, dirt on the neighbors. Uh-oh. I'm like, but good to know. And then he's like, there is no dirt. That was really kind of, I was sweet too.
I like that.
Having that letter to come into and, pay it forward. And then, as I'm selling the other place, follow a bit of I've been in that one for almost 30 years. So,
wow.
Modeling what I enjoyed about getting into this one for the people who are moving into mine, modeling some of that, what was so nice about the process, the things that made the process easy for me, I'll be able to make easy for them.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. You learn from your experience what felt good to you as a buyer.
Yeah.
And as a seller now, you're wanting to do
you want
much as
those
you
good
can.
feelings. I might end up being neighbors with the people who buy my house. So there's that.
It's like I really
there's
have
that
that
little
too.
self-motivated part.
Yes,
but
exactly.
All in all, it's been really good. I like it here. Judy was easy, and she wanted me to do video. I'm like, nope, sorry, not going to do it. But I will do the voice part.
She did,
so.
and that's awesome, and I appreciate it. Any final things you'd like to share before we?
No, I just really like Sedona.
Down.
It fits my needs. It's can't do anything about the traffic when it's crazy traffic. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just smooth sailing, and then you're like, you have to be patient. But other than that, that's the biggest problem. Really, the biggest problem with Sedona is the traffic when it's crazy.
When it's during the touristy time.
Yeah, like weekends,
the roundabouts,
it's the why, Yeah. But other than that, it's just not a problem. The weather's great. If I leave in the hot heat of the summer, it's green, it's pretty. There's, the river always has water in it, ice cold, you could swim, but there's always water in it, and there's a million trails. There's a million ways to be outdoorsy here. And,
no excuses.
No, really, you can be outdoorsy by just sitting on your patio, even, if you're not somebody who's just physically able.
Enjoy the views and nature and...
Yeah, and the Jeep people, the side-by-sides, there's ways to get back out, off the main roads without beating up your car if you want to explore. And Phoenix is not far, that's a nice place to get to also. And Grand Canyon's like right there also.
I know.
So centrally located. It suits all my needs and checks all my boxes. And and I do. I love my neighborhood. I love my view. I love all the people. And my realtor's my first really good friend here, which I think is really cool.
Yes, it's awesome. I love it. It's been great getting to spend time with you after the sale.
Yeah, right.
And doing some of the local things and have fun and build that friendship. So thank you for that.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yeah, good luck with your YouTube stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for sharing your experiences working with me. That really means a lot to me. And also for sharing your experiences living here and what you love about living here and why you chose to live here. So if you are looking at where should I live that has a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of things to explore, that we're close to pretty much everything, comment. Let me know. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to work with you. I cannot say enough about how wonderful it is to work with my clients and help them move to a place that they can really pursue the lifestyle that's near and dear to their hearts.